Hey, welcome to Bethel Presbyterian Church. We are so glad for the reopening of the sanctuary where we will gather once again as the church at the corner of Reed and Bethel Road. We're so glad that you're here.
Yes, so we want you to come at 9:30 for the traditional worship service or 11 o'clock for our contemporary worship service. Please know that they're going to be a little bit shorter than our normal services to keep up with our social distancing, but we are trying very hard to make it feel like home when we come back.
And what we want to do now is just kind of walk you through what it's going to be like this Sunday, July 5th, and the Sundays following that as you walk back through these doors. And hey, the first thing you'll notice is that when you walk up to those front doors, you don't have to touch them, because not only will the inside ones be open, but there'll be a door herald right here at the front door to open the door and welcome you back.
So don't touch the door handles. Let's keep them sanitary, please. Thanks.
The session has decided for your safety that masks are required, at least in the initial stages. So we invite you to BYOM. Bring your own mask, and then we're asking that you would wear it properly. Not quite. Try that again.
I got it. It's fine. I can socially distance. We're good. We're good.
You know, that's
Nailed
very
it.
close, but
Nailed
not
it.
quite right.
How about this? All right, fine. How about we put this on here? And we go just like that. Just gives the illusion that it's on. I can just bring it up when I talk to people. That's good, or no?
No, we need to do
The
it.
silence it up.
Silence or the
silencer.
No, not either. It must go over your mouth and nose to be worn properly. And thank you for doing it properly. Hey, once you enter into the building, you enter into the narthex, which heads into the gathering place where we will have greeters available to point you into the sanctuary. But before you get into the sanctuary, there's a couple things we want you to take note of.
Yeah, so as you walk in, you'll see the greeters here at the sanctuary door. And just before you get in, there's going to be a table here that has some stuff on it. The first thing that I want to draw your attention to is the bag. There will be a children's bag, unlike this one that says Easter on it, but we're putting them together. There'll be a children's activity bag for all kids ages 3 and up that will be able to enjoy that. And that's because we don't have any childcare or children's programming until our church goes to the phase 3 of reopening. So for a little bit, we're going to ask that all kids and all students too, junior high and high school students, remain with their families in the sanctuary for church. And these activity bags for our little ones will help them with the wiggles and the giggles and the fidgets during the worship service. And if that happens, don't worry about that. That is okay. It is fine. We're happy that everyone is here. The other thing, because it's Communion Sunday, you're going to pick up one of these little to-go communion packets. And that is so because that way it's sanitary. No one has touched it. But do know that it's a 2-part open system. The very first part is right there where you open that up to get the bread out, and then you take the whole thing, the whole lid open to get to the juice.
Once you enter into the sanctuary, you'll notice that the pews have been pre-marked. There are big blue X's where we are asking you not to sit. And you'll notice on every other pew in the row, there's green tape. For one service, we will sit in the green taped pews. And for the second service, we will sit in the non-green taped pews. And that's for sanitation, so that you won't be touching where somebody else has touched at the previous service. So we're going to invite you to head all the way up front. And if you would follow me, we're going to be all the way up front where an usher will be standing to help seat people in the individual pews. Now, I notice that you will notice that you will pass by your favorite pew and you'll want to kind of move into that pew. But we're asking, because we need to do this decently in order, we're asking that you would go all the way to the front and that you would head into the pew and head all the way over to the far side so there's no one climbing over you and making it uncomfortable for you or for them. So one of the things we want to avoid is something like this. Excuse me.
Sorry. 6 feet, dude.
Excuse me.
6 feet. Oh my gosh.
Excuse me as I head over this way. Now here we are in familiar territory and the worship service is about to begin, and you'll notice some differences. First, you did not receive a bulletin, although there is a handout of the particular book that we're studying, but all of the responsive readings and everything you need to know will be on the screens at the front of the sanctuary.
Yeah. At the same time, we also have seen in research that singing can prove to be problematic in terms of spreading of germs, that the actual force in which we sing can expand the spray zone, so to speak, which is kind of gross. So what we're asking you to do is to continue to worship the Lord, but stay seated with your face mask on, hum, reflect on the words, sing softly to yourself, and engage in worship in that way. The Lord is going to hear you either way, whether or not you're standing up with hands up in the air or whether you are seated, meditating on those words or humming along. But let's just worship together in that way so that we can help our neighbors out, not spread the germs.
And worship is really an act of the heart. And so it is coming before a holy God in a new way. This I hope the reflective singing, the more quieter singing might help us more enjoy the hymns or better grasp the theology or the heart behind how they were written. And so experiment with us.
In the same vein, along with music, I want to let you know that we are going to have Susan Rose here at our traditional service. She is our organist, our choir director, and pianist. And then we also, at the 11 o'clock service, will have our full band. And so that means there's going to be some opportunities for them to sing out loud for us, as well as for special music. What you will notice is that they will not have their mask on, but we will have them socially distanced apart for that reason, and make sure that there's enough distance between them and the pews. But it does add a little more to our worship service, gives us a little flavor of what it was like before we left for shutdown. You'll also notice that us as pastors, if we are speaking, we will take our mask off so that you can hear clearly, again, keeping distance from the platform to the pews to ensure that the spray zone is understood.
After the message, we're going to have a time to celebrate the Lord's Supper. And we're going to do it with the communion kits that you picked up as you walked into the sanctuary. And it will be a wonderful time, a reflective time. And after that, there'll be a prayer, and then we continue on with our time of worship. Now, as we head out, it'll be through the door by the baptismal font into the fellowship hall, following Pastor Mike.
Yes, we'll come out here through the fellowship hall, and we will dismiss you row by row to do this. We're going to go straight through here to the kids space wing, through our child education wing, and then hang a left, right where classroom 5 and 6 are at. I'll show you where that's at real quick. Through these doors, down a well-lit hallway, and then right through here to the left, past 5 and 6, and out the doors to your right.
As we head out, we wanted to just to walk you through this experience of reopening, and something that we're both looking very forward to. And if you want to continue the conversation that maybe began as you walked out of the building, we've got a gazebo and a picnic bench, or you might go to Grader's, enjoy an ice cream cone with your friends.
The invitation is to continue this community, continue the conversation that was experienced here on Sunday morning. It's been a while since we've all been together, and so everyone's going to want to talk and visit, and so we want to do that appropriately. So, work it out with your small group or with a couple of groups of friends. Go to a place for lunch to sit and visit, or like Jerry said, right outside here, we've got shady places for that to happen.
We'll have hand sanitizer available. We'll have masks available. We will properly socially distance each other, and it will be a wonderful experience as we begin to come back together and to be the church gathered. I can't wait for this Sunday.
Absolutely. We'll see you this Sunday, July 5th, 9:30 for the traditional, 11 o'clock for the contemporary. Also, we will still put online for our YouTube at 11 o'clock the full service recorded like we've been doing. So do take advantage of that if you just don't feel comfortable coming just yet. And Facebook Live will happen at 10:45 with Andy instead of 9:45. New time, 10:45. So all of that is still going on if you don't feel comfortable coming just yet.
And I would just encourage you to give a wink, a smile, a nod to the heralds, to the greeters, to the ushers, and to those that are able to gather with us on this Sunday. We'll see you then.
See ya.
God bless.